Hello, future chemists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the world of chemical bonding and molecular structure. Today, we are diving deep into a fascinating concept, resonance. This topic is crucial for understanding how molecules behave and react, especially for your G-main preparation. We'll explore resonance step by step, from its basic definition to its advanced applications, making sure you grasp every detail. Let's get started. Ready to uncover a molecular secret? Let's begin with the basics of resonance and understand why some molecules need more than one picture to describe them. Imagine trying to draw a molecule, but no single drawing seems quite right. That's where resonance comes in. It's a concept used when one Lewis structure can't fully describe a molecule. Instead, we draw multiple structures, called resonance structures or canonical forms, which only differ in electron placement. The true molecule isn't any one of these, but a blend, a resonance hybrid, which is far more stable. Think of it like a superhero team. Each member is strong, but the combined team is even stronger and unique. So, what makes resonance special? First, those resonance structures we draw. They're just mental tools. The actual molecule doesn't switch between them. It is the hybrid. Second, the electrons involved are delocalized, meaning they're spread out over several atoms, not stuck between just two. This spreading out is key. It makes the molecule much more stable, a benefit we call resonance energy. You'll find resonance in molecules with alternating double and single bonds, or lone pairs next to double bonds, like in the ozone molecule, where its two oxygen-oxygen bonds are identical, a perfect average of single and double bonds. Now, let's test your understanding of these basic concepts. Take a moment to think through these questions. Q1. What is the primary difference between a resonance structure and a resonance hybrid? Q2. List two conditions under which a molecule is likely to exhibit resonance. And Q3. Why is electron delocalization important in resonance? Good luck! Let's level up. Now that you have the basics, we'll dive deeper into the rules of resonance and how to identify the most important contributing structures. At a deeper level, resonance, also called mesomerism, is about electrons being delocalized over multiple atoms, meaning a single Lewis structure is insufficient. The actual molecule, the resonance hybrid, is always more stable than any single hypothetical resonance structure. This added stability is quantified as resonance energy. The more equivalent and numerous the contributing structures, the greater the stabilizing energy. This concept helps us understand why certain molecules are exceptionally stable, like the benzene ring, which we'll discuss shortly. Drawing correct resonance structures follows strict rules. First, only electrons move, atomic nuclei stay fixed. This means the connectivity of atoms remains the same. Second, the total number of valence electrons and the overall charge must be conserved across all structures. Third, each resonance structure must be a valid Lewis structure, generally satisfying the octet rule for most atoms. Finally, the movement typically involves pi electrons from double or triple bonds and lone pairs. Understanding these rules is crucial for accurately representing molecular structures. Not all resonance structures are created equal, some contribute more to the hybrid than others. We evaluate their stability. Structures with more covalent bonds are generally preferred. Those with fewer and smaller formal charges are also more stable. If charges are present, a negative charge on a more electronegative atom and a positive charge on a less electronegative atom is more favorable. And crucially, structures where all atoms achieve a complete octet are highly significant. Consider the carbonate ion, for example, where three equivalent structures lead to perfectly equal carbon-oxygen bonds, or benzene, whose two kekulé structures illustrate perfect pi electron delocalization. Time to tackle some medium-level questions. Q1. Provide two key rules for drawing valid resonance structures. Q2. How does the concept of resonance energy relate to molecular stability? Q3. Draw the resonance structures for the nitrate ion, No. Q4. Explain why all CO bond lengths in the carbonate ion, co-superscript 2, are identical. And Q5. Which resonance structure contributes more, one with charge separation or one without? Why? Challenge yourself. Alright, let's turn up the heat. We are moving to the hard level, exploring the nuances and deeper implications of resonance, including its distinction from similar concepts. It's common to confuse resonance with tautomerism, but they are fundamentally different. Resonance involves only the movement of electrons, with atomic nuclei remaining fixed. Resonance structures are hypothetical representations, and the real molecule is a single, stable resonance hybrid. Tautomerism, however, involves the actual migration of an atom, typically hydrogen, along with electron shifts, resulting in an equilibrium between two distinct structural isomers. Tautomers are real molecules that interconvert, unlike the non-existent resonance structures. For example, the ketoenol equilibrium is tautomerism, while the carboxylate ion exhibits resonance. Resonance energy isn't just a qualitative concept, it has quantitative implications. We can estimate it by comparing the experimentally measured stability of a molecule to the calculated stability of its most stable non-resonant, hypothetical, form. For instance, the heat of hydrogenation of benzene is significantly less than 3 times the heat of hydrogenation of cyclohexene, indicating an extra stabilization of about 150 kJ/mol. This is benzene's resonance energy. A higher resonance energy means greater thermodynamic stability, making the molecule less prone to certain reactions and more stable than its localized bonding model would suggest. Resonance profoundly impacts a molecule's properties and how it reacts. It averages bond lengths, making them intermediate between single and double bonds, as seen in benzene's identical carbon-carbon bonds. It dramatically influences acidity and basicity. For example, carboxylic acids are strong acids because their conjugate base, the carboxylate ion, is stabilized by resonance. In organic reactions, resonance stabilizes carbocations, carbanions, and radicals, which are key intermediates, thereby dictating reaction pathways and rates. Understanding resonance is vital for predicting product formation and explaining observed reactivity patterns in complex organic systems. Now for some challenging questions. Q1. Differentiate between resonance and tautomerism with an example for each. Q2. How is resonance energy quantified, and what does a high resonance energy imply about a molecule's stability? Q3. Explain how resonance affects the acidity of carboxylic acids compared to alcohols. Q4. Draw the resonance structures for aniline, CHNH, and predict its reactivity towards electrophilic substitution. Q5. Identify the major contributing resonance structure for the enolate ion, CH is equal to CHO, and justify your choice. Q6. Predict the CN bond length in the peptide bond based on resonance. And Q7. Why is a structure with charge separation generally less stable than one without? Good luck! Welcome to the hardest level. Here, we'll connect resonance to advanced theories, delve into its role in complex systems, and explore its profound implications in competitive chemistry. From a molecular orbital theory perspective, resonance isn't just about shifting electrons in Lewis structures, it's about the fundamental nature of delocalized molecular orbitals. In conjugated systems, atomic p orbitals merge to form larger molecular orbitals that span across multiple atoms. For example, in benzene, the 6 carbon p orbitals combine to form 6 pi molecular orbitals. The electrons are then distributed among these delocalized MOs, occupying the lower energy bonding orbitals. This delocalization of electrons over the entire pi system results in a significant lowering of the molecule's overall energy and explains the exceptional stability that simple Lewis structures cannot convey. Aromaticity is the pinnacle of resonance stabilization, leading to extraordinary stability in cyclic, planar, fully conjugated systems that obey Huckel's rule of 4n plus 2 pi electrons. This rule, derived from Moe theory, explains why benzene with 6 pi electrons, n is equal to 1, is aromatic and highly stable, while cyclobutadiene with 4 pi electrons, n is equal to 1, is anti-aromatic and highly unstable. Understanding aromaticity is crucial for predicting the behavior of many organic compounds, from simple hydrocarbons to complex heterocyclic systems. This concept underpins much of organic chemistry's reactivity and stability patterns. Resonance is indispensable for understanding organic reaction mechanisms. Consider the SN1 reaction. The stability of the carbocation intermediate is often enhanced by resonance, allowing the positive charge to be distributed over several atoms. This delocalization lowers the carbocation's energy and increases its lifetime, favoring the SN1 pathway. Similarly, in electrophilic aromatic substitution, the directing and activating-deactivating effects of substituents are entirely explained by how they influence the resonance stabilization of the sigma complex intermediate, guiding the electrophile to specific positions on the ring. This insight allows us to predict reaction outcomes with precision. Beyond traditional resonance, we encounter hyperconjugation, often called no-bond resonance. This phenomenon involves the delocalization of electrons from a sigma bond, typically a CH or C to C bond, into an adjacent empty p orbital, a partially filled orbital, or a pi orbital. For instance, in carbocations, the empty p orbital overlaps with neighboring CH sigma bonds, spreading out the positive charge and stabilizing the carbocation. The more alpha hydrogens, the greater the hyperconjugation and stability. While distinct from pi-electron resonance, hyperconjugation is another crucial mechanism for electron delocalization, explaining the stability of alkyl carbocations, radicals, and substituted alkenes. Alright, here are the first 5 challenging questions for the hardest level. Q1. Using molecular orbital theory, explain how resonance contributes to the stability of benzene. Q2. Define aromaticity according to Huckel's rule and provide an example of an anti-aromatic compound. Q3. How does resonance stabilize the carbocation intermediate in an SN1 reaction? Illustrate with an example. Q4. Explain the difference between resonance and hyperconjugation. Q5. Predict the relative stability of primary, secondary, and tertiary carbocations based on hyperconjugation. Take your time to formulate comprehensive answers. Continuing with the toughest challenges. Q6. Discuss how resonance effects influence the ortho-para-directing nature of an OR group in electrophilic aromatic substitution. Q7. Draw all significant resonance structures for the phenoxide ion, CHO, and explain its enhanced stability. Q8. Why is cyclotetraene non-aromatic despite being cyclic and having alternating double and single bonds? Q9. Explain how steric inhibition of resonance can affect molecular properties, providing a hypothetical example. And Q10. Propose a reason why peptide bonds exhibit partial double bond character, connecting it to resonance. These questions require deep understanding and critical thinking. You've got this. Congratulations on completing this comprehensive journey through resonance. From the basics to the most advanced concepts, you've gained invaluable insights essential for G-Main and beyond. Remember, practice is key, so keep exploring and applying what you've learned. For more such in-depth content and to master your G-Main preparation, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing chemistry content. Keep learning, keep growing, and shine bright in your exams.